Hello, everybody. It is I, Yutsuko, back again, and today I'm going to be reviewing Molly from the Thomas Wooden Railway Collection. Molly is a character that I have a lot of nostalgia for a lack of a better term. I grew up with the Come Ride the Rails DVD, which included Molly's episode as the first one, and she's been a character I think a lot about. She's a very interesting character. She has an interesting design. Um, Personality is pretty interesting, kind of. She's from the 2008 era of Thomas to 2000. Actually, no, it was 2004 to 2009. So yeah, Molly's a really interesting character because of that. Since a lot of the characters at this time were only in one or two episodes max, but Molly was in a couple. Her debut episode focused on her insecurities, how she feels inadequate as an engine because she was carrying empty coal cars, and the other engines were making fun of her, specifically Emily, one of the main characters, which is very interesting. So yeah, Molly starts out as this insecure engine, but slowly over time grows more confident. We actually see her laugh at Emily in another episode, Emily and the Garbage, which is funny because the way I got this Molly was in a lot with Emily, which, if you remember, the Emily video I made when I first got her was like months ago. But yeah, she and Emily were just both in a lot, and I decided to just grab it just because, getting two Wooden Railway engines for around $25 was a steal. A lot of Wooden Railway engines are pretty pricey, around the $15 range. So basically one engine and then half the price of another engine. Pretty good deal, I'd say. I also got Whiff at that time, who I'm still planning on reviewing, but probably not for a while. I tend to space out reviews, as you can tell, if I get them in lots. I still haven't reviewed several cars that I got recently. Did anyone know I got Blade Ranger? Blazing Blade Ranger? Maybe some people on Discord knew, but to YouTube, this is probably the first time anyone heard of that. Unless I mentioned it in the Ghostlight Ramon video I did. Maybe. Anyways, so yeah, Molly's just an interesting character to me. She was also in one of the Thomas Flash games, the sort of Simon Says based game. I think they chose her just because she's yellow, which made her a lot easier to like pick in the Flash game versus, say, if they put like Emily in there, because she and Percy are both green, so it's just basic color. Is that Color Theory? I think Color Theory is the one where it's what colors go together. Well, there's like a meme on Tumblr where it's like Color Theory and people misinterpreting what it means. So yeah, that's most of the preamble with Molly. Actually, wait, there's one more thing. This isn't the only version of Molly I own. This is the Take and Play version of Molly I've had for a while. Take and Play Molly I got back in 2022 or 2021. She was like a really early on item in my collection. And I got her just because she's very scale accurate and because she was rather cheap. She's one of the more common Take and Play models. But I still got the Wooden Railway one just to, because again, I want to convert to Wooden Railway. I'm still probably going to keep this Molly though, because I have the box for her, which is pretty cool. Can't really say that about a lot of Thomas items. All right, now we're done with the preamble. Let's get on with Molly. Molly's face in the Wooden Railway range is interesting. If I recall correctly, Molly was originally supposed to have a much larger face. And I think this face is like a mix of that face and the face she actually wears in the show. She has black in her mouth, no teeth. Pretty different from the Take and Play version, which I think is a little closer to what she's supposed to look like. Molly's one of the few characters whose face doesn't cover the entire smoke box area in the show, but none of her merch depicted that except for was it Capsule Playrail version? Yeah, it was probably Capsule Playrail. Capsule Playrail is like really good and detailed. I don't mind it though, just stylistically, it helps Molly match with the other engines a bit more, and I don't think it looks that bad. Could they have done a little better? Maybe, but I think for what we have, this is pretty good. Molly actually uses a bit of a darker plastic color compared to someone like, say, Thomas here, who uses a much lighter plastic gray. Like, you can see more definitively where the eyes start and end, whereas on Thomas, they kind of blend in, which is good because my Thomas actually is a bit of a misprint, where some of the white didn't go all the way on the eyes. But I like how Thomas looks more. Still, Molly's one of those few characters that doesn't look cursed with the sort of darker gray, unlike, say, Diesel, who just looks like he's about to pop a blood vessel, honestly. All right, over to the side. Probably the most controversial thing about the wooden railway Molly figure is her wheel arrangement. See, in the show, Molly has 2 small wheels and then 2 really big wheels, similar to Emily's wheels. And funny thing, her wheel arrangement is actually the same as Edward's, who, if you remember from my wooden railway Edward review, also has an inaccurate wheel arrangement. So neither of these 2 characters have their correct wheel arrangements, but that was probably on purpose because they're supposed to be mid-size engines. They're not supposed to be the same size as Gordon or Henry, so they probably needed to crunch them somehow. So whereas Edward, they just did 2 wheels instead of, they just divided by 2 for him. For Molly, they gave her just 2 wheels in the front and then 2 giant wheels in the back, which makes sense because her giant wheels are pretty notable in the episode. Or not notable, but like, not in the episode, in her design. Right? Like, you can tell they're much larger than Edward's wheels, for example. So, yeah. Got her dome here. Handrails. She has, I believe, 1 safety valve and then 2 whistles or something. I don't remember if all 3 of these are whistles or no. There's her windows. Over here is the tender, which I will detach and take a look at on its own. RF is the seller, I believe. Emily had this too, where it says RF on the back of the tender. For Emily, it was also on the back of the engine. It is... Oh yeah, it's on Molly as well. I'm debating scratching these off because it is a little distracting at certain angles, but also kind of don't because that feels disrespectful. I don't know. I'll see what happens. If they like wear out enough, I'll probably wipe them off, but for now, I'll just keep them. It's not on the back of Molly, unlike the back of Emily here, who does have the RF, so I don't know what happened there. But I'm kind of glad because I like how Molly's tender looks. It's actually a bit different to the Take and Play version. The original Take-Along Molly had a more accurate tender, which was a bit longer. If I recall correctly, Molly's supposed to have black wheels on her tender, not yellow wheels. But they probably just did it to be consistent, because it'd be weird for an engine to have different colored wheels on the tender. Unless the... No, wait, no, yeah, on the... I think it was on the Arlesdale engines. It was like Mike, on the Arlesdale Mike, the Wooden Railway Mike. They did, they did black wheels for the tender. So yeah, as you can see here, the back of the tender is supposed to just be all this sort of olive green color, but here it's just the exact same on the back as it is on the front. So there's probably a kid out there who accidentally had a error Molly where it was this way, and they probably didn't even notice. A lot of people probably don't realize that these are supposed to be. Fun fact, did you know Molly's actually an oil burning engine technically? Yeah, that's what these little wells are for. They're supposed to be for the oil. Because Molly was modified into an oil burner. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Here's her coal load. Quickly going to show the base of Molly and her tender. Of course, it says Molly's tender. Has the recall information in red. It's the exact same as the engine, I believe. Yeah, so Molly has a really unique configuration back here where the front wheels are like this, but the back wheels are like this. I don't think any other engine really used this sort of style. You know, it's rare for an engine to have, like, one bogey at the front. Kind of wish they, like, did this for James. This would have been cool on James. Yeah. Yeah, I'm, like, imagining it now. That would have been sick, actually. Maybe even for Edward, too. That could have been great. But as it stands, I think Molly is a really solid item. She's one of the more common wooden railway engines. I don't know why. I guess just a lot of these characters were like made and sold, and then eventually as people grew up, they just realized, hey, these characters aren't really interesting. It's kind of a shame because I think a lot of these era characters are pretty like underrated. I think they have potential to be great. That's basically it. A lot of these characters are just like their potential is good, but then the actual character is just nothing. Rest in peace, my boy Neville. One day. Anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you all enjoyed the review, and I shall see you all around. Bye bye.